We're driving a 2023 Genesis Electrified G80. I think I got that right. It is a fully electric mid-size luxury sedan. Coming up, I'm going to tell you how the G80 can predict the future, and it's not what you're thinking. But first, information explosion! As you noticed in the information explosion, we're not sure how much this thing costs. It's not on sale yet. There are so many things we don't know, but a little ignorance never stopped us before. Let's begin with interior.
It is so lovely in here. There's so many nice materials. Even the headliner is this fabric. There's beautiful stitching. There's whatever the heck this is.
Oh, let's bust out the graphic. The correct answer is yes. It is wood, but I'm not exactly sure how it's constructed, but that is real wood, and I think it looks really interesting.
It does. What mythical tree does this come from?
The unicorn tree! I like that you mentioned the headliner. It's actually a recycled material made out of like polyethylene terephthalate or something like that. I might be mispronouncing that, but it's like, oh, these used to be bottles of Sprite, but now they're your luxurious headliner. Stylistically, there is a lot to like here. You've got the Napa leather seats. By the way, mine is 16-way adjustable. Yours is 14-way adjustable. The seats also have a massage function, and they're heated and ventilated. One thing that's a little bit controversial is the climate control area. We're big fans of physical controls because you can more easily find them without staring at them. This you have to look at.
Everything is fairly well organized and easy to use as long as you're looking at it.
We just prefer to look at the road, you see. What's interesting about the electrified G80 is that rear seat legroom is almost 3 inches less than the standard G80, and I believe that is they had to move the seat forward a little bit to accommodate some battery stuff, says the guy with the technical knowledge and 15 years of experience reviewing cars. And true enough, when you sit in the back here, legroom is not quite as outstanding as you might expect for a mid-size. It's still workable. Headroom is a little bit cozy. We spent a lot of time in SUVs, so coming back to sedan standards, we kind of have to like recalibrate ourselves. I do fit in the back seat, but it's not the roomiest place to be. Oh, and another spot where the G80 has shrunk a little bit is in the cargo area. So you don't have any fold-down seats. You do have a little bit of a pass-through, but you can see there's a big hump there due to the electrification. So now cargo space is down to 10.8 cubic feet, which is pretty small, especially for a vehicle of this size.
Getting the child seat installed was fairly simple. The latch points are exposed. They were a little hard to wedge in to the seat, but overall fairly simple.
Yeah, again, it's the kind of thing you do once when you buy a car, but many times if you review cars.
Yes.
Kiddo, how is it getting in and out of this car?
It was easy. The car's pretty short.
How do you feel riding in this car?
I like it, and one thing that I like is it doesn't make my tummy upset.
Really? Even when I do this? Whee!
Wow.
Yeah.
As for safety, the electrified G80 is not specifically rated, but the standard G80 is, and the NHTSA gives it a 5-star overall rating. The IIHS named this a top safety pick plus, and it's got all sorts of other safety features. 10 airbags, a full suite of active driver assist, including lane keeping assist and automatic emergency braking. This one has blind spot warning, and it even shows you in the gauge cluster what's in your blind spot, just to give you a little added bit of visibility. What do we think, family? Is the electrified G80 family friendly?
Family friendly.
Family friendly, provided you don't have a lot of luggage. Rear window test.
Almost all the way down.
Almost. Woo. Armrest test. Driving in my standard 8 and 4 position, these are not the softest, squishiest armrests I've ever had, but they are very wide, very flat, and nicely positioned. I'm gonna go 90% inboard and 90% outboard. Hey, would you like to see more videos where we review cars as a family, plus the occasional helicopter video? If you would, feel free to subscribe. Style! Let us quickly thank the sponsor for today's video, Flying Eye Sunglasses. I'm coming around this curve and about to be blinded. I'm being blinded. I wish I had my Flying Eye sunglasses. Wait, what's that? What did you do?
I'm wearing the ophthalmic line of Flying Eyes, which are awesome because they have these removable magnetic tinted lenses. So I can wear them as my daily glasses. They have the same features I love in the Flying Eyes aviation frames. They have these super thin temples that are made of Resiliamide, which is super durable and fits under a headset or helmet.
And they're super lightweight, which means Evie doesn't have any weight on her face, and she gets to run through life just free and easy. Whether you want sunglasses to fit under a headset or helmets in a car or aviation environment like me, or you're like Evie and you want to look super cool, yet have lightweight frames for looking at cats, Flying Eyes has you covered. Click the link in the description below, use the promo code Micah, and you can save 10% on Flying Eyes.
Sometimes when you see a vehicle that doesn't have a lot going on, it can feel overly simple, but here it feels really elegant. It allows you to focus on the bits of style that are there, which are unique. How the turn signals activate the lights along the side, the front, which has that hidden secret charge port.
You are not kidding about that hidden charge port. So when I went to charge this thing after I drove it home, I walked around and I was looking for a port. I am not joking. I walked around the thing 3 times and I was like, I get paid to do this for a living. How am I not sure where the charge port is? I had to sit down here, open up the owner's manual, and it pointed out that on the nose there, perfectly integrated into that latticework grille is the charge port. And what's crazy about that is there is a gasoline version of the G80, and it has a fuel filler nozzle and a little cover over that. So they went to the effort of removing that for the electric version. This is a very low-key kind of electric car. It's not going like, hey, I'm electric. It's just quietly dignified and happens to be electric. What do you guys think? Do you like the look of the electrified G80? If yes, if no, tell us in the comments section. If you're curious what we're doing between YouTube videos, you can always give us a follow over on Instagram, In Motion. In the beginning of the video, I teased that we were going to tell you how the G80 can predict the future. You're probably thinking I was going to talk about electrification or something. No, the G80 has something called road preview. There is a camera on the car that looks at the road and anticipates when there's bumps or imperfections and then adjusts the suspension accordingly to account for whatever that is. Isuzu V-Cross.
Wow.
That is so distracting, but I love that thing. That does speak to the general nature of the electrified G80, which is a very pleasant car to drive. It's got a dynamic suspension, so you can go into the drive modes and you can make little adjustments here. Did you feel me go into sport mode?
Yes.
That does lead me to one of my complaints, which is steering effort. Even in normal mode, or even down here in eco mode, I find the steering to be very heavy. That might have to do with the fact that perhaps in the South Korean market, this is the kind of vehicle that you buy to be driven in, and perhaps they don't want the driver making any big moves, and that kind of like smooths out your inputs a little bit. But for my taste, I wouldn't mind if that was a little bit lighter, and when you put it in sport mode, it really heavies it up. So I wish the steering was a little bit lighter, but what are you gonna do? If anything, I'm training for my next career as a chauffeur in South Korea. I should also mention that this thing handles pretty darn well, and you can drive very fast if you want to, which I oftentimes do. One of the great joys about driving an electrified car is this. Whee!
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. 0 to 60 time in the electrified G80 is 4.9 seconds according to Genesis. The immediate pull of that powertrain is intoxicating. On the inverse, when you slow down, you can control how much electric regeneration happens, but what you can't do is one pedal drive it. What I would love to do is be able to just lift off and have it come to an elegant stop, much like I've experienced in, let's say, the Rivian R1S and other electrified vehicles. So yeah, if I continue to hold the left paddle here, it will come to a complete stop, but that feels like a little, I don't know, much. Last comment, it's quiet in here. We've got active noise cancellation, we've got laminated front side glass, and that really keeps things quiet in here, and that's doubly important in a car without an engine, because engine noise covers over a lot of other noise. That's a real challenge for electric cars, and the G80 Electrified G80 is doing a really good job of managing that wind and road noise. Now let's see what Evie thinks. Evie's at the wheel. As you drive the the Electrified G80, how do you feel?
I feel electric, baby. It's so fast!
Oh my God, yes, it is. I was like, cheap pun, like, oh well, now we might die. It was a real emotional journey there. Do you have fun driving this thing?
I almost have too much fun driving it, because when you step on the accelerator, it gives you a lot of speed immediately, no matter how fast you're already going.
I'm really pleased that you're playing around with it. That's awesome. What about visibility?
Visibility is pretty good over my right shoulder. Over my left shoulder, this is right in my way, this B pillar, but I sit pretty far forward in the seat.
How do you find the gauge cluster with its 3D function?
That seems like the kind of thing that would bother me, right?
Yeah, because in the past it has.
I don't know. I guess I'm a happier person now. I like it.
Evie's changed a lot. We've all changed a lot. And now she likes the 3D gauge cluster.
One thing I don't like is the way the brakes feel. There was a bit of a learning curve for me, and I felt like I never nailed getting to a smooth stop.
But overall, though, I mean, do you enjoy driving this thing?
Heck yeah.
That's a pretty strong endorsement. I'm going to get back in the driver's seat.
No.
We are agreed. The Electrified G80 is a really nice car to drive. Let me very quickly thank the folks who support us on Patreon. We give you guys early access to our videos. We chat with you there. We really like getting to know you guys. Thank you, patrons. Onward to Emotion Factor. So, what's the emotion factor here?
Elegance, luxury, smugness.
Smugness. Yeah, that feeling like, oh, I don't have to go to that gas station that we're passing.
See ya!
See ya! Prompt acceleration and not having to go to the gas station, charging up at home, all that convenient stuff. Couple that with the indulgences of what is very much a top-tier G80 trim. It really is a kind of an indulgent and delightful package. If you're feeling moved to buy your own electrified G80, one, you can't yet, at least not when we're making this video. Two, I'm not sure how much it would cost because we don't know that information either. But three, if you do want to do that, I bet you have to sell your current car first. If you'd like to know what your current car is worth or how much you should pay for your next one, click the Kelley Blue Book pricing link in the description below. Kelley Blue Book, the trusted resource. And now it's time for Remarks! Remark number one, infotainment. That is a standard 14.5-inch screen, and as noted in other Genesis videos, I really like how high it is and how wide it is, because looking at that is not far from looking at that, and that other thing is the road. It is simultaneously a touch screen, though it's a long reach, and then you also have this knob down here that you can use to control it, and I find it to be a very well-designed interface, very easy to make my way around.
These two knobs feel a little different, but it's too close.
This one's a little bit bigger, this one's more knurled, but
they're both bejeweled.
Yeah, but if you're looking to grab the knob and twist it to do a thing, whether that be make yourself go, God, what a weird way to say all of that stuff.
That's so odd.
If you're looking to put it in drive,
yeah.
Now everything sounds weird.
If you just want to crank it. Oh.
Yeah. I guess what we're saying is that the drive selector and the infotainment knob are similarly shaped and very close to each other, and I don't know, maybe it'd be better not to have them so similar and so close. The screen is also a great venue on which to view the 360-degree camera system. Super cool how you can kind of create that quasi bird's eye view and rotate around the vehicle. A lot of good situational awareness there. Also kind of aligned with the infotainment system is the audio system. In this case, we have a 21-speaker Lexicon audio system that you definitely need 21 speakers to listen to your murder podcasts. Where did they find the torso? The Electrified G80 really comes loaded, and another feature it has is highway driving assist, which is basically like a driver assist feature on the highway. That feels really redundant. I haven't added any new information to the original statement, but what it does is basically it steers for you, and it keeps a distance between you and the vehicle ahead. Sometimes you get in these systems and they're like kind of nervous and like, oh, I gotta be over here, we gotta be over here. And in the G80, it's very like relaxed, like, hey, okay, we're getting a little bit closer to the lane marker, then that's fine. We'll just make a little adjustment. I really enjoy highway driving assist. The electrified G80 also has the remote parking assist feature. So let's say you have a really small garage and getting out after you've pulled the vehicle in is very difficult. You can just aim it and use the remote to move it remotely. It's a very neat feature. Talking about charging, the electrified G80 is based on the same 800-volt architecture that we found in the Kia EV6, and it also exists in the Hyundai Ioniq 5, which allows it to recharge very, very quickly. It can go from a 10 to 80% charge in 22 minutes, provided you have a 350 kilowatt DC quick charger. So that's a very quick recharge and a lot of range in not much time. If you charge it at home with a level 2 charger, that takes about 7.5 hours, and that's from 10 to 100%. Sweetie?
Yes.
Can I make a trim recommendation?
Oh boy.
I'm going to recommend you buy the only trim that they make this thing in.
Well, that was easy.
As an alternate thought, if you don't want to spend however much this costs, probably $70,000, $75,000,
Whoa.
you can get a gasoline-powered 2.5-liter rear-wheel drive version of the G80 for about $49,500, which is a much cheaper way to G80 yourself. It won't be quite as luxurious, and it won't have that super speedy electric torque, but it will be a G80 and it will be nice. The gasoline G80 might also be a good idea because initially, whenever this thing goes on sale, it'll only be sold in 4 states: California, Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York. So getting your hands on one might be a little bit of a trick. As for the competitive set, we got fancy electric sedans in the form of the, obviously, Model S from Tesla. There's the Mercedes-Benz EQS, and also the Porsche Taycan. And we reviewed the Taycan a while back. If you want to see us when we look a little bit younger, you can click right up here and get our Taycan thoughts. Last remark, electric vehicle incentives is changed. The new standard for the federal tax incentive is that the vehicles have to be built in America, and this is built in South Korea. So by the time this goes on sale, there's a good chance it will not be eligible for federal tax incentives. So don't expect to get any incentives with this guy. Hey, did we miss any remarks? If so, tell us in the comment section. Synopsis! In thinking about the essence of the electrified G80, it is very much an indulgence, and it's also quite technologically advanced, yet that technological advancement is sort of obscured. It's a little bit stealth. To me, it is the frame TV hanging in our house of premium, no, luxury mid-size sedans. See, the thing is, I didn't want a TV on the wall. I wanted it to be very, very low-key. So you can just have art on there, and people don't always know that it's a TV. They're surprised. Stealth. If you can think of a better synopsis, feel free to leave it in the comments section. If you would like to see more videos of us driving into the sun and being blinded as a family while we also review cars, feel free to subscribe. And if you'd like to see what we're doing between YouTube videos, you can give us a follow over on Instagram. Family! I think we've done a pretty good job reviewing the electrified Genesis G80. May I have a 5? And a 5. And you can get that high five. Yeah!